Hello, welcome back. I got cut off. I think everyone is going live because it is Happy Memorial's Day. I hope everyone had a good Memorial's Day. And my first video got shut off, so maybe there'll be. All right, so let's get started. I'm just going to start where I left off because I said a lot of talking. All right, so these are some pin. I think they're called nibs. The correct term. They're just called pins. Look at this box. Isn't it adorable? I'm weird. I love all the nicks and scratches and everything. I love it. Okay, look at that. I like the stain on there. Welcome back. Read that. Can you read that? Therapy on Facebook because I take better pictures than I do videos. So, and this is what you put on the end of the quill to pick up the ink to write in 1862. And you'll see a lot of my ephemera is handwritten with that type of apparatus. So that's adorable. So I bought those. I didn't really count them. Let me see. Oops. Here. There. The cat's out the bag anyway. There's a, I don't know, maybe 12. It's adorable. Now it says something on here. I don't think you could read that. I'm not getting out my magnifying glass camera, but I use one. I'll get it out on my next video set. So, but yeah, that's adorable. I got those, and you'll see those in my crafts. I'm not so ambitious as to I might use them, but you never know. I have a handwriting project. So 200 years from now, a great-grandchild can say, oh, that was my great-grandmother's handwriting. So I'm working on that. So what else can we say? I just wanted to start off with those things. I bought this off of eBay. It's a bit scratched up, but it's a stamp. As you can see, we already talked about stamps in my other video. But I always wanted the mason jar, and I could never find it anywhere. I said, so I'm just going to have to buy a used one. It's working fine. I'm doing an index card project, and I've already started stamping some. This is me adding up my mother's when she graduated from high school dates. So I've started punching out those. I bought these, and then we'll go into paper stuff. These are Alice in Wonderland cards. I like to cover my face up so you can focus on what I'm talking about. And I'll change my picture of my thing. I was just waving. I bought two because I do collect cards. But they're in two small cigar boxes. So after I fill something up, I don't buy anymore because then I'll end up buying, I'll have 100. And I love watching pickers because they go through people's warehouses of things and it makes me itch. I could never do all of that. But these are charming. I will use these in individual projects. Yes, I'll cut, stamp, tear, paint. For me, another stack is to use to create with. Beautiful vintage image. These are not vintage. However, the images are reproductions. So, and I like this one. We're all mad here. So that's fun. I think there's a couple of other images. So you'll definitely see these in projects. Here he is at the party, the Mad Hatter. And they're brown, they're vintage looking, they're charming. So I don't have to do anything to these. I might tear something on the end, you know, to make it look vintage. See? Yeah, I'm always trying to look. You don't need to see me. Here's another image. So those will be used and loved a lot. I guess this is part 2 of what I already said before. All right. And I'll fix the thumbnail and add more descriptions and things like that. But in the first one, just in case, you'll see these pictures, just in case the first video didn't happen. The thumbnail is of these. These are prior to postcards, and these are over 100 years old. I will definitely have therapy. All right, what do I want to do next? So I talked about a stamp. Let's talk about this before I get into this card. I did buy a huge one last stamp because I loved all the individual ones. And they have one here that says Africa. Africa, Europe, North America, and I like all the compass image. It's sort of steampunkish, but that's what sold me was this one, because you'll see that a lot. And that's by 7 Gypsies, so shout out to them. And I like their packaging because they give you instructions. And again, that's important for, you know, us old-timers that have been doing arts and crafts for 30 years, for someone new. So they don't feel intimidated. And I understand. That's why sometimes I'll talk as if I'm talking to someone who doesn't know what a punch is, or this is a stamp. Just Gypsies, because you can use their packaging. You can use that, and you can use the plastic, you know. So I like them for that. I won't try to put that all together. I bought these stamps too, and that's it. I'm not gonna buy any more. The top one says blessed. I know it's covered up. The second one says vintage, and then you have some flourish there. You can use that this way or that way. So I like that. You'll see that in the future. So those are the only stamps that I bought, I think. I know I had to think about it. And I think I showed you these before in the video before, but I wanted to show you these again. These are chalk markers. So I want to see how this is going to come across on some of my coffee stained papers. I want it to look different. I just don't want it to look like marker on paper. I want it to have a little depth and interest to it. So yeah, that's why I bought these. It says chalkboard, glass, and windows. So I'll be using some of those elements in my mini albums. Okay, so let's talk about some more postcards. These are reproductions, but I appreciate the fact that they actually made it a postcard. You know, so the backs are all look just like this. The back, sorry, the lighting gets weird when I put it up like that. But these are all charming because they have mushrooms, red mushrooms, and fairies or elves or fairy folk, you know, so they're all different and they're all lovely. And again, I got into buying lots. If you go on eBay and you punch in lot of vintage postcard, LOT, as in a bunch, you know, it'll be interesting. And as you can, I'll show you something. You'll see it's interesting what pops up. And the thing about eBay, no more this year, but January when I start filling up my inbox and my watch, is things change. So if you're really into auctions and things like that, you should go every month. But I get what I get, and then I'm done for the year. I don't really, every once in a while I'll be nosy, because they can really fill up your inbox, and that's annoying too. They can send like 30 emails a day, and that's too much. But when you start buying, you know, you find a lot of good stuff. And all of these are vintage images. I can't show you all. We'll be here forever. But I put some of the top adorable ones on the top. And there are those spotted red mushrooms that I love and adore. Isn't that cute? And I think I saved one of the best ones for last. Here. Isn't that adorable? Cute, right? So I have a lot. See, there's a lot in there. So, and all the backs look the same. So I'll figure out what I want to do with those. I hear a lot of people having problems with YouTube. A lot of big YouTubers are complaining. I'm just here to have fun. So I bought, and I'll show you later, I was trying to find a diploma for my mom, the year she graduated high school, which was 1947, but I couldn't find it. And that's okay. You're not going to find exactly what you're looking for sometimes, but it's always fun to find things and just be happy with it and use your imagination. Of her class pictures, but I don't have a picture of her diploma. So I like this because I'm going to use that image. I'm going to copy the in. So that's pretty. I'm not going to cut it up or anything like that. I'm just going to photocopy it. I like how that, you know, I don't know the name of that fabric, but it's beautiful. It's, you know, it's a regular old diploma cover, 1955. So let's move this over here. Okay. So where do I start? Let's have some fun with some ephemera paper, vintage paper ephemera. Let's get into it. All right. So here's a merit certificate. I can't see what I'm. So you could tell someone was using those pens. Please don't cut out on me again. I don't want to redo this. I'm not going to. I'm just going to have to record it if it happens. Look how beautiful that typography is. Isn't that gorgeous? All on eBay. Look at that big old beautiful gold seal. So you'll definitely be seeing this. Now this document I will not tear up. I won't do it. I can't bring myself to do it, but I will reproduce it and you'll see elements of it in a project. Okay? Because I have a picture of my mom on her wedding day. So, and you know, they folded things up. Okay. That's pretty. I got some deeds. I'm watching my time. So I got 4 deeds. And these were a lot. No, I think these 4 came together. Yeah. And these were from Pennsylvania. Look at that handwriting. Look at that seal. Isn't that beautiful? So let's open one up. And they're all different. Kind of the same, but all different. So let's open this one up. Okay. Here's the seal in the back. That's what it looks like when you fold here. I shouldn't be so close. I just want you to see every little detail. And then when you open it up, you have the handwriting. Isn't it beautiful? Now I'll let you I'll get close on that. Look at that handwriting. And the stamp right here. You can feel it. Look at the signatures. And I want you to see this again because it's so pretty. Sometimes I get these and I just stare at them. And I feel lit. So I have 4. So I have to decide which one. I'm going to copy all of them, but then I have to decide which one I want to use in my art projects. For instance, I might tear this in threes and then use them in different elements. So I have to decide again if it was something super, super historical. Someone would have got there before me. Or I'll do research on it and decide, maybe I should share this with them type of thing. But I doubt it. If it made its way on eBay, that means the person who sold it, I'm sure, probably did their due diligence and found that no one's really checking for it. Let me see how much I can get. Okay, so that's those. Those are adorable. All right, it's hard to show you what I want. It's hard to select what I want to show next because everything is so cute. Here, it's getting weird. Okay. Yes, I am into cosplay, and I like wearing my happy hair, as I call it, my rainbow hair, and no one cares, really, especially at work. They're just used to me now. I have natural hair. It's under there in braids, and when I do let it down, I just wear it up in a ponytail. I'm not really a hairstyle type of person anyway, but I do like my rainbow wigs. So these are old medical. They're not really that fancy. They are kind of historical in a sense. They have the city, the date, what the person, was getting. These aren't that old, 1951. But I wanted them because I didn't have any, so I wanted them. So I got a bunch of these. Some of them are from California. Some of them have pretty blue skulls, doctor's prescriptions. Alrighty. Now this I bought all by itself because of the corset. Isn't it beautiful? Okay, it's a receipt, but that advertising is everything. Isn't it pretty? So you'll see that a lot, and it's called G&D Chicago Durability. I love it. Oh, Louis Landsberg, Pinconning, Michigan. Oops, sorry. So you'll see that most definitely. And remember I mentioned how sometimes when you get some antique ephemera and you can tell it's from someone's attic and it might not smell that nice, I put in a sachet, however you want to pronounce it. And it smells really nice. And you pop it in there and it takes away that danky attic smell. So I got some old letters. These are really old. These are over 100 years old. Some came with, look at that handwriting again with the pen. I'm sure they used that. This is from, I forgot the years. Some of them have years, some of them don't. 1885. There you go. The handwriting. Okay, that's beautiful. 1884. And these, I think this has a letter in there, but I'm not going to pull it out. It's because I have plenty of letters I want to show you. Well, let me put that aside. Since I'm here, I like this one because of the color. It's like a mauve, peachy mauve color. It's very beautiful. So let me put this aside. Okay. No, I'll open it. I'll open one. Because I try not to handle them that much, but it's okay. So, okay, so here. 1885. I thought it was interesting how they'll write and write and write, and they run out of room and they'll keep writing. And there is I'm trying to find the word for this stamp. I forget. It's 3D where they stamp it. Emboss, I guess, an embossing stamp. So they kept writing and writing, and I have to read all these letters too. Now, I would definitely reproduce this and put it on Etsy for people to download if they want to purchase it, because the hand is beautiful. But I wouldn't destroy this one. I wouldn't have the heart to tear this one apart. Some aren't so pretty, I guess is the word, and I wouldn't have a problem with it, but not this one. And I like how this person used their envelope for other notes. So again, this is from 1888. So that's well over 100 years old. And I'll read the content of the letter, and I'll decide, is there some historical value there? I'll look at the city and the town where it came from, where it was sent to. Then I'll see if a museum, that type of thing, and see if somebody there wants to curate it, that type of thing. But it's really, honestly, I don't really worry about it, because someone else would have gotten there before me. I like this one because it has Coca-Cola on there, an old receipt, and that's from 54. So that's not that old. That's not that old. And again, this was a stack of things that I am going to duplicate for my Etsy. Look at the beautiful typography, kindergarten material. Look up the little town. You're going to see a lot of, I've got a lot, LOT, a lot of vintage documents from Iowa. And the town is called Hornick, Iowa. And when I looked it up, the school wasn't there anymore. And it's a little tiny small town. I think it has like 300 people. And it's near Des Moines. So maybe one day I'll go visit it. But there's no museum there. There's nothing like that. I even have a children's book that I think I'll show that to you next, that I ripped these out. So I've already given my disclaimer about upcycling from books. So we as crafters, we understand what we're doing, and we are giving it new life. All right. I also got this in a lot of vintage ephemera. It's a calling card. And I'm curious as to, this is like a putty. Something was stuck there. And I'm not sure what was stuck on there. It's Miss Linda Ferris. And it's a calling card. A ladies in the Victorian times and Edwardian times had calling cards. So I'm going to do some research and find out what was stuck on there. All right. So that one page that I showed you came from this book. Number one, I love this color. I like garden themes and horticultural themes and all that good stuff. This is a vintage book. It's over 100 years old, and it's falling apart. It's dead. People, I bet you people are like, why does she want that? Well, I'm going to reproduce this image and use it in a project. Number one. And it's a child's garden of verses. So that's fun. Share some of those with my grandson one day. And I've already started harvesting. Sweet little image there. And this is the inside of the book jacket. Isn't that cute? Here, you need the whole thing. You don't need me in there. So that's really charming. And I've gone through and earmarked some things. So here is a poem. They're like poems, little stories. I'm just reminding myself what I want to take a picture of. So that's fun. So that's where those other pages came from. And they did have that attic odor. This was interesting. It's an old school book. And every time I find a date, I find another date. Okay. Like on the front here, it says 11/18/87. So November, no, actually it says January 11th, 1887. And Calvin Henry Wiley traveled something. I really have to get my magnifying glass, and I do. Isn't that beautiful? That's like a background itself. People actually work to get things to look like that. So that's pretty. But I keep finding other dates. Like this says 1905. You see it here? This is 1905. So I'm confused. Or did they just use this for, years? I don't know. I'm confused. But you could clearly see it's someone taking notes in class. There's a lot here, so I can't show all of it. It's too much. But you can see they're just like a classroom. They're taking notes. That's about it. So I mean, it's not very fancy handwriting, so I'm not going to have a problem ripping that out and using it. Okay. But here I thought was interesting was, I guess they had like Bible study too. They had pictures from an old Bible or pages. These were women in the Bible, of the New Testament, I should say. So I thought that was interesting. So you'll definitely see that in my art project. So we're halfway there with my video. All right. I think I showed this image before. I'm just going to show it again. I'm allowed to use this. It is the original picture. I am allowed to use it. It's over 100 years and profit off of it. So, because I have the original. And then I have this old book. It is so tatty and torn. I don't even want to take it out, but you'll see that a lot. You'll see that image. You'll see her. Let me see. Is there one little thing I can share with you? I think I shared all the other stuff with you that I got an old almanac here. And that goes along with our cigarette cards, all that good stuff. So, and they have that really small, it's not small, strong attic smell. So, my hair looks weird. There we go. All right, I have this out, but I don't know why. Let me see. I don't really want to, this is not that exciting. I think it was attached to something. I think I talked about this already. I'm going to use this paper because it's really old. So that's what I wanted to say about that. All right, put that here. And then, let's see, I organized a bunch of stuff. I put a picture on my on the Facebook channel. I had so many documents. Like these are all letters. These are receipts, and I'll show you. But these are organized, so I'm not going to take those out. Let's see. I think I showed you these in my last video, the old checks. So I'm all organized for my scanning. Okay, all of that is organized. I know I showed you this. So totally organized. And that's the half. That's half of the deal when collecting, archiving, and getting organized with ephemera and supplies, so you don't keep buying more. You put down how many receipts you have. You put down how many doctor's prescriptions you have. You put down how many children's books you have. You put down how many flower pictures you have, so you don't keep buying them over and over again. That stuff, that's going to last me the next 10 years. So, and I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with it. And that's one of my goals, is to collect things so I can use them over and over for the next 10 years. Isn't photography, the color, the lettering? I'm not going to take it out and put my oily hands on there. See, that's a receipt. Look at, that's an old receipt from 1900. And someone was buying, you know, supplies. Okay. And here's another Coca-Cola receipt. Here is, I like regular old shops, you know, whether it's they're selling feed or whatever they're selling, car parts. I like it all. It's very interesting to me. I grew up in Detroit, Michigan before, when it was charming and lovely, and there was a downtown and every store had a shop in it, and they took pride in, like, this receipt. You know, we get ugly little receipts with numbers on them. This is beautiful. And that's from 1925. You know, here's something where people, they were writing on it. Look at the little phone. So little charming, little interesting things. That's what I enjoy. And you'll see more. This is charming. It's a florist. I just like every aspect of it. There's something written here. There's the fancy handwriting. This is 1892. I'll hold it one more time. I hope you can see it. Here you go. 1892. You can see a watermark here. Can you? I don't think you can. I can see it. Almost right here. There you go. Look at that handwriting. So this is a florist, flowers for wedding, funerals, parties, and short notice. How cute. All right. So some of those documents will be on my Etsy. Here is the diploma that I found. Isn't that cute? Look at the design, the typography, the handwriting. Everything's beautiful. The seal, the embossed aspect of it. It's just gorgeous. I'll get you a little closer. Look at that. And look at the bow. Just charming. Charming, charming, charming. Okay. And that's what I'm going to name this video. Charming ephemera. All right. What's next? What's next? What's next? I'm doing good. I have another bag. Look how thick this is. So I will be scanning forever. Look, it's stacking up. This is a big, thick book, and this is already more. More. I organized it by color, by type, by size. So I don't want to screw up trying to be cute. I just want it to be organized. Oh, I didn't show you this one. I showed you the other one. Let me see. Here's pretty little card. It's teeny tiny. I'm trying to gear up for a crafts month. I think it's next month, like on QVC and HSN, things like that. And people reproduce these. This is an actual, the real deal. The real McCoy. So that's something. This I bought in a lot of ephemera. A lot. I already know what I'm going to use that for. So, and this is a Christmas card, a vintage Christmas card. Isn't that pretty? And then on the back, the design. And then here is the sentiment. Oops. Here's the sentiment inside. It's too teeny tiny. Okay, there it is. And there's a little hole. I like that because, you know, Christmas is not always snow. You know, it can be a palm tree. So that's cute. Okay. So I had to have those because those are crafters. See the different artists creating. So I'm going to have to blow that up and use that on something. This was quite interesting. It's something that that's another thing when you buy a lot of something or a group of something or a grab bag of something, you kind of never know what it is, but you can use different elements of it. Like those leaves are everything to me, whereas the top flowers I'm not really that interested in, or the actual design. It doesn't really, you know, do anything for me, but it's interesting because, you know, somebody got paid to make it and to design it, and it's, you can see my hand through here. So I got the idea from them. So I'll bring this back up when I create that myself and say, this inspired me. So there's always a reason for something coming along. And I'll talk about that last. And in a lot of things, I got a cute little picture of a little boy. And I think I shared with you in my previous video all of the vintage pictures that I've purchased. So I'm done with those. I have enough for those projects. So this is the actual picture. Again, I own it, so I can do whatever I want to do with it. Here's a card. Let me see. National Jamboree, 1969 in Idaho. But then it says Massachusetts. So I don't know. Some things are kind of confusing, and I'll do the research on them. But and they're like little puzzles of someone's life, and now we get to bring life back to them from Sweden. Have it protected. Okay. I'm getting that. Okay, it went away. Those messages drive me nuts. And I think I showed this to you guys before. My finger's out of there. I don't know. Jeez. It's an envelope. Okay. And it's these little, I think these are ration tickets or something. I'll do my research on them. Here's another one. Oops. Sorry. It's a ration card. First day of August, 1933, $25. And this one, I don't, Hornick, Iowa, again, pretty. And they were in the little, this is history. It's sort of like what we're going through now. You know, we didn't have to do the rationing thing. I was a little worried there. Buying stuff up, but then stores told you can only have 2 or 3, so that fixed them really quick. But yeah, people don't like to share when they're in a panic or afraid. So this is an old Polish passport. Now that was important to me because my last name is Polish, and I thought it was interesting when I found it. I don't want to open it all the way up because there's some very exciting things in there. I thought it was beautiful. They had a prayer card in there, but I'll show you some elements of it. This is like an olive green. You know, like when we look in our passport, picture out, which was unfortunate. But all of their information is still here. Isn't that beautiful? So I won't show you everything because it's so delicate and a bit torn up. But you can see what their travels were. See the stamps. Slovakia, Poland, Hamburg. Oh, okay, 1919. So that's going to be fun. And you can see, look at they're rusted in place. That's so charming to me. Look, they just stapled it. Now it's very official when we get our passports, but look at that design. Isn't that beautiful? And it's like an olive green color. So you'll see that in a future project. I'm keeping that inside that envelope. I was bidding for it, and I was like, I have to have it. So I won the bid. It might have even been the owner. We never know, do we? This is an old marriage license, and I think it is so charming. I'm weird. The more beat up it is, the more charming it is to me, and I love it. So that's as much as I'm willing to show and do because it's so beat up. And this is 1924. Okay. United in marriage. It's so fancy. So I'm going to take good care of that. I need to put that over here. Even I'm weird. It's just elements. And when you put things all together, especially when you collage, it really together. Even old beat up books. This fell off of a book. Prominent men and women of the New Testament. So I'm going to use that as well. See, it's the old beat up page. So I'm going to reproduce that. Here is a another certificate of graduation. That was interesting here. I'll hold it back. Because this person did not get very good grades. By the hair of their chinny chin chin. His name Leroy barely graduated in 1941 from elementary school. So poor fella. But he probably made it through. Maybe he was a nice guy. All right. I will show ephemera next. So just so I don't run out of time. These are, okay, let me say what it is first. I think these are war tax on transportation of persons and property. And that clip is so charming. And it's more than one. And I don't know how I'm going to get them off because I really don't want to displace this. It's antique. I don't want to touch it, but I'll figure it out. 1918. So that was oops. It's reconnecting now. So I'll just keep talking. Here we go. Back at it. Here is an old envelope. It's a flat envelope. Now this is just ephemera that you'll see on my Etsy and on my Facebook. I'll share. I'm getting again. It's scaring me. Look at that beautiful color. Just old receipts, bank equipment. I think this was like a school, and this was, and I thought this was interesting because it's, you know, you can see my hand in there. Okay, that's cool. So I have hundreds. This is an old railroad receipt. Okay. Lumber. I mean, these are things that's important to a building, to a school. That's it. That's why there's two alike. And that's what I love. Now, remember my last video? I bought those little pins that we used to use that we don't use anymore, but they use them. You see in the back how it's pinched back there. So that was fun to find that. So I won't go with pictures and the pride and the stationery and the delicate imagery. It's beautiful. Here's a red one. Pretty, pretty, pretty. And the different wording, typography, drawing that I'll use, and you'll see. And I like how this stapler is rusted in place. That's charming. See that? The globe. And we're kind of winding down. It's a lot, you guys. It's a lot. There's no way I can get through all of it. Here is, this is beautiful. See the pretty imagery? And it's just a receipt. Beautiful handwriting. So I think you get the gist of what I've been sharing and talking about. Next year, I already know my theme. I already know what I'll be shopping for next year. So it's like this, but it'll be theme related because I've always wanted to focus on that like for a whole year. So I kind of already have my craft life already scheduled. I already know what I want to work on. I'm going to start sewing at the end of summer because all of the events were canceled. So I'm not really worried about sewing, but I am going to do some fabric videos, some sewing videos, some designing videos. So you'll see that coming up. And it's all going to be period pieces, pieces from the 1800s, things like that. Isn't that pretty? These are larger ones. Okay, look at the schoolhouse. That's like a stamp. This one is, I just keep staring at it. It's so amazing. Look at the two buildings, pride they had in their warehouse. And look at all this. You know, people got hired to type correctly and to be accurate, and before computers and their handwriting, and they were judged on spacing and checking things correctly off the list and accounting and keeping track. So I love this stuff. I do. I love it. I love it. Now these are all documents in French, and I have absolutely no idea what they say. I just know I own them. I wanted them, and they're part of my collection now. I think I might have shared. Yeah, I'm still live. I'm talking. Yeah. Okay, I can see myself. So let me turn that off. Here. Before I'm close to my hour, so it's cool. There you go. Isn't that beautiful? Old, beautiful handwriting. And I can't really figure out the dates on these. I can't. I've looked and looked and looked. Okay, this one says 18, I believe it's 1844. But I have so many of them, and I have to be careful how I handle them. So I'll do one or two more and then that's it. So here, and it's like cotton paper, and it has stamps and, you know, embossing and watermarks and everything. It's everything. These, can you see? No, you can't see my hand. And this has a crown. It's fancy, fancy. So that's about it. I have a book. Yeah, I think I showed this already a lot. And I did not show this one. I love that one with the coins. So I think that's it, you guys. I got this one in the mail. And it's like a robin blue. I don't know if that's going to pick up. But I thought that was beautiful. And this one is odd because it has the wax seal, but it's two pieces of paper. So it's very odd how that is constructed. So that'll be fun to figure out what to do with. And I got, when I do start talking about sewing and things like that, I have a bunch of books that I got. So that'll be part of that series. And last but not least, I got this Young Woman's Journal, which is pretty amazing. It's from 1890 something. I forgot the date. But it's huge. I really lucked out. I'll buy another one and I have enough. Matter of fact, I had some. I was bidding on some and I said no, I'll let somebody else win, and let it win. But I kind of look how pretty. So these are the kind of dresses that you'll see me try to reconstruct. Okay, that one, that page. And in here, they have all types of patterns. I really have to sit down and learn how to tat. I know how to crochet. Knitting was never my thing, but I would like to learn tatting. Okay. I mean, this book is hundreds of pages. Look how big. Look at that dress. There's music. So, I mean, this is page, I don't know, look how thick. I mean, it's page after page after page. I'm almost embarrassed. When I get something like that, I think to myself, shouldn't this be in a museum? Look how beautiful that dress is. I have to make that huge. And it just goes on and it is. And look how pretty. Okay. Yep, that's that. Thank you and welcome back to my channel. That's all my craft supplies. I'm setting up my craft table and we're going to do some overhead crafting and get some junk journals going, some art projects going, some gift giving ideas going. So I'm really excited. Finally, I'm at that stage. So I do appreciate you guys sticking around. I think I have 2 people watching me. I hope the first video came through. If it didn't, I apologize. I just did not want to go back through and say what I said, having problems with YouTube. So welcome back to Nana. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Happy arts crafting. Have a good day. All right. Bye.